Hey there, my name is Brighton. Welcome back to another midweek, joined once again with Pastor Aaron.
Hey, Brighton.
Hey.
Hey.
He just gave this past Sunday's message, still in the Beatitudes, Matthew 5, verse 7, sermon titled, Giving Away When We're Taught to Get Even. This one really focusing on mercy. The verse says, Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. So we're definitely getting this giving mercy away, but we are receiving mercy. So you have any thoughts on that's the only beatitude that you are getting what you're giving, or maybe inverse, you're getting and then you're giving.
Yeah. Well, let me put it back to you.
Oh man.
I said it was. All right. So you pointed that out, right? Like the response matches the input.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What did you take away that blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy? What did you get with that kind of like reciprocal nature of it?
Yeah, I think in some ways mercy and grace kind of sometimes get interconnected, or people see them in the same way. I've heard, I don't know who told me, but grace is receiving things that you have not earned or deserve, where mercy is not getting what you do deserve. So I feel like both can come from God, but in terms of this beatitude, I think that it's the importance of we have such an overwhelming receiving of mercy from God that he's like, don't just keep it for yourself, but like also then give mercy to others.
Yeah, I think I love how you described it, like being grounded in God. I think one of the great mistakes we can make, we've said this before about the Beatitudes, is like Jesus, the moral teacher, who's just like really summarizing these great moral truths and with pithy statements, and like, no, like it's so much grounded in the story of God. It's grounded in his story.
Right.
It's grounded in the interactions he's had with the people of Israel. And so one of the things we talked about Sunday was that mercy is often not giving full justice or withholding some measure of righteous anger in order to extend the relationship, right? There's something that is being withheld so that there's not just a total break of relationship. I've been in friendships where I've treated a friend really poorly and haven't done the thing that friendship warranted, and instead I receive mercy, right? Is there frustration? Is there anger? Is there measures of justice? Yes, all of those things, but because something was held back, it allowed us to rebuild the friendship. It allowed us to reestablish it. And so when God does that with us, it creates in us that character that's like, I'm doing something divine. I'm doing something like God when I show mercy, especially for the sake of relationship. And that's where I think it's really good to remember to keep it in that relational context, and not just as something like generic I show to the world. And even when there's really difficult situations in life, there might be times that we don't act non-mercifully, but we say, you know what, this is not a relationship that can be extended. Like this one it has to end. It's not good for me. It's not good for them. And to realize, like, it's not that that's not being merciful, but that is one where there has to be justice that kind of resets a context. Maybe down the line, there's like transformation, there's change of the spiritual self, there's growth, there's maturity. You're able to have actual repentance and reconciliation. But in this moment, I'm not withholding mercy whenever there has to be a break of relationship for the sake of both of us or something like that. But whenever we keep in mind that when I do show mercy for the sake of relationship, I'm doing something that God has done for me. So let that be my default. Let that be the way I'm already interacting with the world. I'm already acting with my colleagues at work, my friends, my parents, my children, whatever the case is. Like, mercy is my default because it was what God showed to me to have a relationship with me.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things that you mentioned in your message were these complexities of mercy. You listed 3 of them, that they can have consequences for ourselves, consequences for others, and then also mercy can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So how could you like summarize those complexities on when mercy may not be God honoring?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the Beatitudes. Like, how in the world does this work in the world? Like, this is just an impossibility. If we show mercy, I'm going to be I'm going to be in risk. I'm taking a risk. I might be in danger. Sometimes that might be the case. If somebody who's in authority, and I use the illustration of like maybe police or a teacher or a judge or something, if they show mercy, well, what happens if the person that they've had mercy upon ends up not correcting or not changing? If the teacher has got a soft spot in their heart for a student they know is not kind to other students and can disrupt their learning experiences, but they're like, but I want to show mercy, like I'm taught to show mercy, well, that's going to have consequences on the students that maybe are taken advantage of, that their learning environment is disrupted because the teachers had mercy on the disruptive student, the bully in whatever the case may be. So there's a risk that, right? Mercy can have consequences for me, like I give up some measure of justice on it. Mercy can have a consequence for others, that maybe if there's not correction and there's not change, then there's ongoing consequences. And then the last one that is like, well, if we think of mercy in this like transactional game, well, can my mercy be preyed upon? Can it be presumed upon? And then it's like, but that's a really unhealthy thing then, right? Because that's a manipulator, a person who knows what they're doing is wrong and persists in doing wrong and yet presumes upon mercy. Like there's something wrong with that, right? That's a really unhealthy way to have a relationship. And so there's a way that it can be twisted or manipulated, but all of those are part of it, right? Because we can't control. Right. We cannot control what other people do, say, think, or feel. We can influence them sometimes, but we can't control it. So if I show mercy, there might be consequences that I didn't intend, but they happened.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into God's mercy, and you said that Jesus is God's mercy. And God's mercy cannot be earned, it cannot be bought. Like you said, the mercy that we receive from God is not transactional. And so how powerful that is to interact and then also share mercy when the mercy that we are receiving isn't something that's done from our standpoint.
Exactly right. Like God in flesh is standing right there before them, teaching them, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. He is the mercy of God. God didn't write us off. God didn't just wash his hands of humankind and walk away. He's there, flesh and blood, before other flesh and blood people. Mercy is standing right there before them. But already at the same time, the justice of God is standing there before them, because now they have to make a choice. Like, what will I do with mercy? What will I do with Jesus Christ? What will I do with God standing before me in flesh? And so you can see like, well, is this mercy or is this judgment? And it's actually both, right? God standing there before them is merciful, that God is yet coming to them, just like he came to the man and the woman in the garden, where are you, right? And yet there's also a judgment. God showing up in the garden revealed that they were trying to hide. Right. It showed that he knew that there was something that had gone wrong. Christ standing there, God in flesh standing there, shows like something has gone wrong that I'm here teaching you. It's mercy, yes, but it's also judgment. And we have to decide, well, is Jesus Christ going to be God's mercy to me, or is Jesus Christ going to be the judgment of God against me if I reject him? There's a book that's written on a man is working through the death of his wife. And he has these letters that go back and forth with C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis has a great line in one of the letters that he has. He says, perhaps her death was a severe mercy. And as he's processing it, and Lewis isn't necessarily laying the act of the woman dying completely at God's feet, but the man was saying that he had become overly infatuated with his wife. She had taken up too much of his life, not at her fault, but he's wrestling through for himself. And Lewis has a line like, perhaps that's a severe mercy. And there's some things that go through in life, and maybe you have too, that at the time I was like, that was really painful, difficult, not what I wanted, not of God, and maybe it wasn't of God, and yet God was able to use it as a kind of severe mercy, because it was something that pivoted me back to God. It was something that God did not specifically orchestrate or intend, but absolutely used it. And so like the mercy of God yet shone through something that the enemy had meant for ill. And I'm like, man, that is a severe mercy. And I think about Jesus standing there teaching us this way of life that does not work in the world. It's so difficult. It's filled with complexity. It's filled with challenge, and yet he is a severe mercy. A severe mercy that completely reorients our life. And I have to decide, what am I going to do with Jesus? What do I do with Jesus?
For sure. And I think with that in mind, it's easier to say, oh, well, just receive God's mercy and give mercy. Like it's easy to say on paper, but maybe not as easy to do in action.
Yeah,
or
just
in
try
practice.
it, right?
Yeah.
just try it whenever injustice hits you and be like, oh yeah, it'll be easy.
Yeah, just choose choose to receive God's mercy and give it. So, like, what are some ways that we can really get in the mind of focusing on mercy? If we're receiving it and Jesus is calling us to give it as well, like, how do we get in that mindset of not full justice, but sometimes in a God-honoring way to give mercy?
Yeah. That's why the beatitude of the prior week that we looked at, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ is the meek one. What's he say? Take my yoke upon you, for I am meek.
Yeah.
Take my yoke upon you. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. For us to know how to live out justice without cruelty and mercy without indulgence, which is one of the phrases that we used, you have to be yoked to Jesus. One of the effects of the fall is folly. We do not know how to live well. We do not know how to live rightly. And it's a complicated world. It's complex whenever people have done us wrong or have done wrong to somebody that we really love. Well, what does mercy mean? Okay, I can show mercy for myself.
Yeah.
But you and I are friends. If somebody does wrong to you and you choose to show mercy, like sometimes I'll be like, no way am I going to show mercy. Like, you just hurt my friend. Like, I'm not going to show you mercy. We don't know how to do that without being yoked to Christ. So I say, don't focus on the justice, or don't focus on the mercy. Focus on Christ and let him be the one who guides you. Attach your life to Christ and let him be the one who walks alongside you in the world. We drew from Micah, the book of the prophet Micah, who said, do justice, love mercy, walk humbly. Well, that's be meek, hunger and thirst for righteousness, blessed are the merciful, right? Those are those three beatitudes. Jesus is pulling those from Micah. And if you want to love mercy, grow in your love for Jesus Christ. If you want to know how to live out mercy and be merciful, get to know Jesus. There's no other way. We do not know mercy fully without knowing Christ. So if you want to know mercy, get to know Christ. If you want to love mercy, grow in your love for Christ.
Which definitely comes back to that point that Christ is God's mercy to us.
And sometimes I think it's, thanks be to God that he's given us such simple things. Like, sometimes you might say, man, I wish there was more to do. Like, well, really? Like, in the word, be in the word, prayer, be in prayer, find a spiritual discipline or practice or two, solitude, silence, service, and let God do his transforming work in you. Right? Watch him go to work in you whenever your life is open to him and saying, I'm doing this study or prayer or whatever it is. I'm doing this to be yoked to Christ. Well, watch how the Spirit's at work in you. And we don't have to be like, grit our teeth and to be like, I'm going to be merciful today. Like, today's a day. It's like, no, it's the byproduct. That's the byproduct of God, the Holy Spirit at work in you, because your life is yoked with Christ.
So good. Well, thanks for sharing all of that encouragement and digging deeper into mercy and being merciful and showing mercy to others. So hopefully you found that to be a great encouragement to you as well. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Stick with us. We have a few more weeks in the Beatitudes. Have a good one.